Okay, good morning, boys and girls. Today is May 6th. You should be grabbing your packet that says May 4th through 8th, remembering not to work ahead. And you are turning to Wednesday, and we are writing May 6th, 2020. Okay, so we're going to turn the page, and here we are in our phonics practice. And remember, we're working with the consonant plus the LE when we're breaking up our syllables. So for example, and you could even get a highlighter or with your pencil, you could circle that consonant with the LE, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to highlight the LE and the consonant right before the LE. We remember that consonants are the letters in the alphabet that are not vowels, okay? Oh, Apple's got one too right there. So pretty much if you do that, I kind of gave you the answers, to be honest, but I'm not going to fill it in. You have to fill in all the rest for yourself. Okay, so I will fill in examples, but you fill in the rest. A is a word sort. It says look at the spelling words in the box and write the spelling words that have one syllable, then write the words that have two syllables. So your one syllables, of course, would be your CVC words, your consonant, vowel, consonant words. So I'm going to go in order and I'm going to cross them off as I use them. And then a two syllable, my first two syllable that I run into if I go across is apple. Okay, and then you do the rest there. If you want to give yourself an extra challenge, go ahead and actually show where those syllables are. All right. And letter B, rhyme time, it says write the spelling words that rhyme with each of these words. So the word that rhymes with had, and usually they're going to have very similar endings, is going to be sad. If you want to challenge yourself, add a few more. Mad, glad. I can put another one. Rad. Okay? Have fun with that. Play with it a little bit. You don't have to stop just at the one word. Okay, when you turn the page, you're going to be looking at your grammar practice, which is commas and greetings and closings. Letters and some journal entries begin with a greeting and an ending and end with a closing. So we begin with a greeting. Greeting would be a vocabulary word, and we end with a closing. Greeting and closings are always followed by a comma. That's very important right there, that comma part. Okay, so greetings. Hi, Lenny. Dear Diary. Dear Mayor Brown. I'm going to highlight all of those commas. Closings, your friend. Joyfully, sincerely. I love joyfully. You don't hear that a lot. Okay, then your directions say circle whether each phrase is a greeting or a closing. This is just like yesterday's work. And then rewrite it on the line, adding commas where needed. So hello, Tom would be a greeting. So you're going to want to rewrite that. Now I'll say this, usually the comma just goes at the end. I'm not sure why they have it right there, but hello, Tom, they did it there as well. Okay, and then you're going to do 2 through 5 alone. So here it says form a greeting by writing the words in the correct order and with the proper punctuation. So Jim, Uncle, dear, of course you're going to change that to dear Uncle Jim, and then you're going to format that correctly. Okay, we continue to work with our clocks and telling time. Very exciting, very an important skill to be able to read clocks. So it says draw clock hands. Draw the hands of each analog clock and write the time on each digital. And we know that this is analog and we know that these are digital. Okay, so 7 o'clock. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the digital because that's just a lot easier. And then I know o'clock means that the long hand is going to go all the way up to the 12 because it's 0 minutes. And I know that my short hand is going to point at the 7. And I make it very obvious which one is long and which one is short. Okay, so you're going to do that 23 through 28. Okay, turning the page, looks like it's very similar. Read time to 5 minutes. Okay, now, so here's a new skill, you guys. So every one of these little tick marks represents 1 minute. 1 hour equals 60 minutes, guys. So there's 60 of these little teeny tick marks, okay? But something that should help you is your ability to skip count. All of you know how to skip count. So when you get to the 1, that actually equals 5 minutes, because if you count all of your little tick marks, it ends up being 5 right when you get to the 1. Okay, so these problems are only going to go by increments of 5. Okay, so I know that my shorthand is on a 5 here, so that's the hours. And if I need to figure out the minutes, I'm going to go 5, 10, 15. My longhand is pointing at the 3, so I go 5, 10, 15. So the time is 5:15. All right, let's try one more together because this is new. All right, so my shorthand, it may to you look like it is pointing at the 8, but in reality, when you take a piece of paper, you fold it, it's still in the 7s. It has to move over here to be 8. It's still 7. Okay, so my shorthand is in the 7, and my longhand, I have to count, is pointing at the 9. So I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It is 7:45, okay? All right, and it's okay to get somebody to help you at home with this because this is a brand new concept, you guys. Okay, we are continuing working on our rough draft for our fairy godmother. So you really won't fill out this page unless you want to do your paragraphs 3, 4, and 5 on this page. You could. I'm going to go back to the same rough draft page that I worked on yesterday, and that's where I'm going to complete my rough draft. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to remind myself what I wrote yesterday by rereading paragraphs 1 and 2, and then I'll go on with 3, 4, and 5. So it says, I love my fairy godmother. She has got to be the best fairy godmother in the entire world. She has secret and amazing powers that only I know about. First, my fairy godmother can fly anywhere I ask her to take me, even if I want to go to Myanmar. She can fly me there in 10 minutes. I bet you wish your fairy godmother could fly like mine. Okay, I'm going to go back to my rough draft before I get started, and I'm going to remind myself, okay, paragraph 3, I was writing about, oh my gosh, my fairy godmother. She can grant me any wish. Next, my fairy godmother is the best because she grants me any wish I have. I wished for all wars. Okay, now actually I'm going to stop right there because see how mine's bleeding through? I'm actually going to go over to the next rough draft paper on Wednesday and finish there. What do you think I'm going to say? Remember, I was finishing a thought. Maybe you probably already know. I wished for all wars to end, and she made that happen. I also wished, I want my fairy godmother to do things that help the world. For all pollution around the world to stop. She made it happen. Wow, she's a super awesome fairy godmother. Okay, so let me look at what, I'm going to leave it there. I've given a little bit of detail about what what wishes she's granting. Now I'm going to come to paragraph 4. She helps other people who need help. So I'm going to say next. My fairy godmother helps, what did we say? Let's go back and just remind ourselves. All right. She helps other people who need help. Helps other people who need help. If we see someone who needs extra money for groceries, she will give it to them. If a child is crying, she knows how to make the child feel better. She is the sweetest. Okay, so really all you have to do is, you guys, with your detailed sentence, you just explain that. So in my detailed sentence, I say she helps other people who need help, and then I give 2 ways that she does that, okay? Remember, in your last paragraph, you're going to do your in conclusion, and you're just going to pull all 3 of your main ideas together, right? My fairy godmother does many cool things. She helps me, comma, okay, so I bled through, so now I'm going to go to a sheet of paper, okay? Just to, actually, no, I'm not, because I don't have a sheet of paper. But it's going to bleed through. So what I'll keep, let's see, maybe I'll just squeeze it down here a little bit. She helps me. She can fly. And she helps others with anything. I adore my fairy godmother. Okay. All right. So there's my rough draft. That's all, and I'm done with writing for Wednesday. All right. Remember, you don't have to worry about spelling. You don't have to worry about grammar or punctuation with your rough draft. We're going to do all of that tomorrow, when we're going to look over the work that you did today. Okay. Just get all your creative ideas down. Read for 20 minutes on Raz Kids. You could even fill in the book that you have here. Practice your sight words. List 30 in your homework folder. And then you can choose any 4 words. You guys are familiar with this, that goes with your spelling words. Choose any 4 of these and then draw a picture that goes with that, okay? And then we're going to, this would have been what would be your math homework normally. So we'll just continue to do a little bit of practice here. So writing the time in the digital clock. Again, we know that the shorthand is pointing to the 6. It has not made it to the 7 yet. So it is 6 something. And then we know that we're skip counting by 5 with these big numbers. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So the time is 6:25, okay? And you'll do the same for 2 through 4. So now with 5, it says draw the hands on each clock and show the time. So I'm going to actually start with the minutes, 5, 10, 15. It may even help you to write your minutes here, okay? So my long hand is going over to my 3, and my short hand is going to point to my 8. Okay, making it really obvious which one's your long and which one's your short. Then you're going to choose for each activity what the appropriate time is for that activity. So a trip to the zoo, would it be appropriate to go to the zoo at 11:10 a.m. or would it be appropriate to go to the zoo at 11:10 p.m.? And of course it would be a.m. Now if you want to challenge yourself, what are you doing at 11:10 p.m.? And you can write that activity, and hopefully most of us are sleeping. Okay? And then you'll do the rest there. Okay, you guys, the practice test is attached to your Wednesday, but actually your practice test we would normally do on Thursday. So we're not going to do this. We're going to write save for Thursday. All right? So again, make sure you're logging on to Freckle. Make sure you're logging on to Prodigy. Definitely make sure you're logging on to IXL. You guys are doing a great job with IXL. Make sure you're being nice to your brothers and sisters, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.